Okay, take it away.
Okay, camera's on, everybody can see me. And hopefully you can see the presentation. This is lesson plans that implement AI. My goal today is to focus in on how you create lesson plans and the elements of a lesson plan, and think of ways to use artificial intelligence to improve that communication. Hopefully you'll figure out ways to examine your lesson plans or student work that they're turning in deeper, because it seems like that's what these tools are going to allow us to do. And I will also do a demonstration of Khanmigo, a slight demonstration of Khanmigo, to kind of show you what I think is going to be happening in K through 12. So I think in the future, you're going to get students that are expecting to use these skills, as well as you're going to sense from the workforce that we want them to understand how to use these particular tools. So we got to think about how to do it ethically. We got to think about how to do it morally, responsibly, honestly, things like that. My name is Matthew Moore. I'm an educational technologist. I have a degree in educational technology from San Diego State, and I have a bunch of other degrees which are not relevant this time. And I'm an instructor. I'm an instructional designer at Ventura College, your sister college. Cool. Lesson plans that implement AI. So we've been talking at Ventura College. I know you've been talking at Moore Park because I've been a part of that conversation. And so I just wanted to list names of people who've kind of helped in these conversations and have kind of made this a better presentation. The faculty here in the middle, Nick Schooler spent time presenting with me. Samita Lal presented with me. Steve Turner gave me some good ideas just recently about how to do stuff. Colleen and Cami are on our professional development team and have provided insight. But there's just a lot of great people here. And as you see, Mariana, Eric, Deborah, Kelsey, great. Appreciate your help. You're going to see some graphics in here by a man called Pejman Milani. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Really cool. You're going to see a graphic in here from Khanmigo. So hopefully these are things that I didn't cite real well, but I'm citing them now. And then AI help. So there's moments in time where I'm referring to AI, and the choices that I'm using are Khanmigo, and specifically Microsoft products. But if you are interested, there's Google Bard, there's ChatGPT, and you can go into hundreds of choices. How are we doing so far? Good? Okay. Is everybody there? Okay. Goal. So the goal today is to examine the various components that make up a lesson plan, such as discussion prompts, questions, directions, elements, just little parts. How could you make these things better? And I hope you learn. I hope it's clear. My goal is to take a box and turn it into a really cool rocket. We provide you with these resources. We hope that you see ways to change what we give you and develop things that maybe we have not seen before. So I like to present this graphic because we give you the tools, but we hope that you can create rockets that will help you move forward. Okay. All righty. So truths in education. One of the truths in education is technology's here, right? You have the availability to use many tools, Khanmigo, ChatGPT, Po.com, Bard, Microsoft Copilot, to re-evaluate how you've created things. So hopefully you're doing that. Hopefully you're starting to test the waters. It's very good at producing output. We still need people to trust but verify the process, put in their input to make this work. Technology is available for students to do the same thing, and it's freely available. A lot of these tools are free. Khanmigo, I did pay for that. It's $4 a month. It's a really good tool. Okay. So with all this regenerative concept, right, you can put in your directions and it will make them better. So we know students learn best when they're actively engaged with the material to be learned. We know that they get immediate feedback on their responses, that they're engaged when they learn. We know that they work on material. When they work at material, it's just at the cutting edge. So there's a flow theory that says if you just create an assignment that's just at the edge of what they understand and they reach, that they have a tendency to, well, we believe that they learn. So, and when they see value in learning. So they've got to see purpose in what they're learning. So when you take the UDL concepts that you heard by Mirko earlier today, it's really a philosophical science of education where you're saying these conditions have to exist. And it's really hard to develop those and make those needs, make those intersections. Yeah. Cool. So this is the first area I'd like to stop at and kind of chat. Yes. Adjacent. Yes. Zone of proximal development. Yes. Yes. That's a really cool theory. It's been around for ages, right? But it's really cool. So yeah, if you have a chance to evaluate that, please do. It's cool. So lesson design elements. So this is kind of what I was thinking about. Okay. And this went through conversations and we've had previous discussions about, these topics, and some of these were added by other teachers and I can't remember whom, and I apologize for that. But we're basically thinking of writing prompts, discussion prompts, dialogues, creative stories, peer review checks, scripts for videos, scenarios, training lessons, things that, require instructions, things that you need to tailor so that you can get output from your students. And so this has kind of been circulating, it's been percolating. You can even use it with quiz and test questions. Level 1 drafts down here. Level 1 drafts is really a key issue. You can even come up with topics. You can just have it create topics for you. Let's say I'm working on theories in education. Can you give me some really solid theories in education to go over with my students today that pertain to learner choice? And it'll give you, you have to read over it, but for the most part, it's pretty good. And it gives you a good starting point. Now, it's pretty good. It's not perfect. Good. So you've got these elements that are used by teachers. So what I'm asking for you right now is if you were to think about your lesson design elements, and elements is used kind of vaguely here. But if you were to think about your lesson design elements, what are some things you could add to this list that you could put through a generator? So if you had a brainstorming session, poems, are there anything that you think of or that you could contribute? So I could, maybe I could talk about this in future presentations. Maybe I can add to it. If you sense of something, I know I kind of put you on the spot, but if you sense of something, please put it in the meeting chat window. Okay. I was going to use Nearpod, but I'm not going to use it today because it seems like we have control over the chat. It seems like we're going to get it would be good to put everything in one place. So if you can just like a cascading waterfall, that'd be great. Okay. Yeah, warm-ups. That's a great idea. Yeah. So if you can check for warm-ups and analysis and critique. Yeah, great. Outlines. Okay. It will do these things, and you're going to see in Khanmigo is more for students, but you'll still see how it works. Timelines. That's a great idea. Thank you. Yeah. So you might have it, you might say, you know, we're going to do X, Y, and Z and have it done by a certain amount of time and give me a timeline backwards. You know, it's got the criteria. March 17th is when you're going to turn this in. You know, what are some key dates to this process? And it might even give you some, you know, check-in point ideas. Yes, theme prompts. So I'll add these and others to what I'm doing. Simplifying instructions. Yes. So if you've got instructions in there and you're like, maybe I'm getting a little too wordy, it will also make it more concise, and you can choose it to the audience that you want to tailor it to. Okay. So gradable elements. Okay, so things that you ask your students to do. So the big issue is, how do we know they're doing the work, right? That's going to be a huge issue with these projects. So there are other things that we can grade as they're checking in, and we can still see that the learning's happening, but we got to figure out what we're grading. So one is reviewing for truth. I just demoed a piece of software with a company that you know, had you set up citations, and it was kind of, you know, just making sure that you had the right citation. And I know you guys have used that before, but reviewing for truth, and where's the truth coming from? So providing people with primary documents is a great idea. Checking citations for accuracy and evidence. Grammar check. Okay, so, you know, are they checking the, like are they really reading it? Transitional checks. Does it go from one paragraph to the next? Is there some sort of logical flow, or does it just feel like it's, you know, just different paragraphs, just content? You know, does it seem like a student would be able to read that information, understand that? Does it feel like it's student written? Does the product answer the question? You know, does it align? I think that is the most important thing when it comes to working with these online projects. Did you answer the question? I mean, if you think about it, if I have all these tools at my disposal as a student, then they should be clearly defining how it answers the question. They should be, you know, they should be reading their stuff and going, oh, this doesn't work, I have to edit that out. Oh, reading the question, oh, I need to add this stuff. Oh, this doesn't transition right. You know, they should be taking the content and thinking at a different level. Is it clear and precise? Does it ramble to the point? Does the writing wander? Does it ramble? Because, you know, it's easy to ramble today, right? It's really easy to create stuff that doesn't meet the goal. You know, if you have a clearly defined goal and they're not meeting it, you might need to contact someone. You might need to talk to someone. You might need to say, you know, I don't know why this is why it's rambling here. Like I gave you this question. Are you focusing in on this? And then you might need to have some conversation with the student. Are they using sources that you required in the assignment? Yeah, I mean, if you provided them, why aren't they using them? Why aren't they finding unique ways to do it? I mean, if they have all these wonderful tools, why aren't you making those jumps? Why aren't you making those connections? I think it's very important in a world that's, you're going to have all these tools, that we learn how to ethically work with them. Oh yeah, so I kind of had lost some ideas in these gradable elements. And I also thought, well, this might be a good time to ask you guys, what are some additional things that you could look for when you are grading students to make sure that they're doing what they say they're doing, right? It's aligned to the goals. So, you know, if you're a character, are they referring to, you know, if you want them to portray something as a character from a certain time period, are they putting in, you know, are they really developing that character and things that person would do at that time? So this is just another thing to think about as we're going through it. I'm trying to you know, develop some ideas that we could check for. So yeah, if you have some ideas, you can feel free to add them. Okay, all right. So user flow. So this is a graphic from check-ins. Is kind of a graphic. This is kind of a very linear process, but I think it's something that is worth examining because, you know, the teacher creates an assignment, student plans an essay, right? So he could be creating a plan that is generated from AI, but then is developed to answer the question. You know, a student writes and gets feedback on automatic draft. Okay, so we're reading their draft. We're trying to figure out how to make sure they're answering the question. Like it's almost like we're diving deeper. It's almost as if you know we're really scrutinizing over how they're thinking and how they're presenting stuff to the public. And so, you know, this kind of just sets up a nice little diagram because it goes through the process, right? The writing process. So then you've got a draft, and then you go through that, and then teacher reviews, and there's stages in the draft. All these stages are points in time where you could use AI to either grade something, give some feedback to someone, or you could have the student use AI and generate more content. So, so when you're grading or adding clear rubrics, yes, the slides will be here after the presentation. They'll be available. Are you asking us what we can do to tell the students has used AI to? Yes. So it's hard to necessarily police this, right? And we don't want you to put yourself in a situation where you're constantly evaluating stuff. But do they understand the assignment? If they're not answering the assignment and they're not doing what you're asking them to do, and it's really just writing versus writing a certain way or creating a certain way, I think that's when you need to say, hey, I've got to, I need to talk to someone. I need to talk to this particular student. I need to get involved and reach out, because they might have a reason for why they did something, and they might be scattered and all over the place. Possible that might be who they are. You know, there's just different ways to. We're really going to have to know our students really well. So it increases regular and substantive interactions. You know, what you're getting from your students. You know your students really well. It feeds into UDL really well because you really have to know them and where they're coming from and who they are to understand what they're writing and to understand what they're creating in your projects. So, yep. AI for students. So other things to think about are, so I talked about source documents, that makes sense. Is there a particular voice you use? So yeah, so there are, you know, projects where you pretend you're a spy in New Jersey. Well, are they really getting into understanding what the spy is doing? And are they describing the time period really well? Like, do they get what's going on? Like ask some questions about it. And are they referring to primary documents? Are they connecting the dots when they make statements? So, you know, just connecting the facts together. I think we can, so whether they have used AI or not, I think it's our job to say, here are some things that can make, can be indicators of how they're producing their work. Are their sources the ones that you want them to use? So that's kind of thing. So I'm still kind of stuck here a little bit, and I could take this into AI and I could get some other things put out here. It would generate some ideas. But just be aware that if you know some things that we could add to this list, just let me know, because I think if we take the approach of constantly, I think you got to figure out how you're going to use AI in your classroom. So. Okay. So that's what's going on. That's the way we can address some of these issues. What I'd like to share right now is a little bit from Khan Academy on kind of what you're seeing with AI right now. If you're interested in a training, I've got a link here for this. It's free and it's specifically designed towards education. So if you're if you're looking at a tool that's generating content, I think the best thing to do would be to look at a tool that says it's specifically designed for education and that they promote that. AI is coming up in all of these different formats. Okay, and so this would be a link to the training. So if you went to the training, it's out here. It's pretty straightforward. It's Khan Academy. These are teaching with AI. Probably Unit 2 was the one that I felt that was most important to people getting ready to teach with AI. But you have these 3 units here, and you can get a badge and so forth when you're done. Okay. So I think how we can ethically use, how can we minimize the unethical use of AI by students? I think that's an additional conversation. But what I was thinking you could do from a slight level was just to know your students, talk to your students, make sure we know them better, communicate with them, put more, discussion type documents, more talking to students, check-in points, feedback that's tailored to them. Yeah. Yes, and all the links are here in the slide presentation. Okay, so the big step here for the rest of the day is to talk about Khanmigo. If you speak other languages, you know that Khanmigo means with me. Khanmigo means with Khan. It's kind of a play on words, but it's pretty cool. The training is free. The tool that I'm using costs $4 a month to use. Obviously less than a Starbucks coffee. I don't know why I said that. It's intelligence on steroids, and we'll take a look at this tool. So I think I put it up here. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is the Khanmigo interface. Okay, so here we go. And as we're looking at Khanmigo, it is pretty cool. So if I wanted to get a tutor in some of the basic topics, I could choose math and science, humanities, help me focus. I don't even know what that is, that's new. Practice knowledge, if I need some help with writing, okay, I can choose these particular writing questions and get started. I might craft a story today. Debates, if there's debates you wanted to do, chat with a literary character is kind of a fun one. You can actually chat with a literary character. It's pretty cool. Word Architect plays word games, and then Ignite My Curiosity. So what Khanmigo has done is they've said, we're going to respond to the person, but then we're going to quickly have a dialogue with the person so that it's not just Khanmigo doing this stuff for you. And it's really interesting what ends up happening. So I'll do the math and science one first, because this one was pretty interesting. So it says, I'm here to help you with math or science questions. I won't do your work for you, but I will help you learn how to solve them on your own. Can you tell me the problem or exercises you'd like to solve? I have to graph a line 2x minus 3 equals y. Okay, confused, don't know what to do, right? So I said, I need to graph this problem. Okay, can you help me out? It says, graphing a line, a fun task indeed. So what's the first step you think we should take to graph this equation, right? So it's actually asking you, what do you think we need to do? So you could have this in all your environments, and you could have people, be put in this situation. Find X. So, and it'll tell you, it'll give you a response. It's usually quicker. Okay, so here we go, right? It gets to a point where it starts saying, all righty, if we set y to 0 in our equation, 2x minus 3 equals y, what does your equation look like? Okay, so if we set y to 0, okay, so it would be 2x okay, so then it starts taking math concepts and it walks them through the process. Okay. Notice it didn't, and I can do more of this, but I don't want to have this whole presentation be on math. But we started with, I've got this problem, it's not going to tell you everything. It tried to figure out what I did not understand. Okay, and then it provides some possible ways to think about it. So that's a math science presentation. If I was looking at a literary character, okay, I could chat with, well, let's chat with an historical figure. So let's just say I wanted to chat with an historical figure. So this is something that if you wanted purchased by the district, we'd obviously have to go to the district itself and ask them if we could purchase it for us. We'd have to test it out. You can test this out without paying for it. I paid for it because I just wanted to see what it could do and that kind of thing. Oh, so we have a Ben Franklin. We'll take a Ben Franklin. Okay. Oh, Michelangelo. Oh, you guys have already even thought about the next question. Okay, so we'll do one Ben Franklin and one Michelangelo. Okay. All right. So I would love to meet Benjamin Franklin. Okay, so it goes into, hey, I'm Ben Franklin. Allow me a moment to adjust my spectacles. You guys can read this. Okay. You guys can see this, right? You guys can see this pretty well. Okay. Perhaps something in American history. So it says, so let's not waste any more time and dive right into our conversation. What would you like to discuss first? Did you really create the first printing press? So we'll just see what happens. Common misconception, dear interlocutor. I guess that means, what does interlocutor mean? So that gives you a question. I would look it up.
Conversation partner.
Yeah, what's that?
It's a conversation partner.
It's a conversation. And then so you can kind of see how it works, right? So it increases dialogue. It increases how you're communicating. Okay, so I'm not going to spend the entire time talking about this tool because it obviously can go into a few rabbit holes for sure. But that's the basic idea of Khanmigo, is it's set up to help a student, guide a student through a process and to help you present, help them answer questions. Okay. So they have all of these tools that answer questions for the student, right? So you're going to have all of these tools that are available that they can ask help for. So I think diving deeper and being more specific in your presentation would be beneficial. Microsoft also has these types of tools. They've got a reading coach, a co-pilot, they've got AI literacy training. They have all these tools that are available. You'd have to have an educator's account, and you'd have to make sure that there's probably some sort of fee that passes on, but there's a lot of information out there with that. And yeah, we just went to the Reimagine Education Conference yesterday, so there's a lot of stuff from Microsoft out there, and employers like certifications. So there's 3 points to this process, right? There's what students are doing in the K through 12 environment, being trained in using AI. There's what we need to do here, which we're going to define. And then there's the employer aspect of it, that they want people to have these sets of tools. So there's a lot of things here that I hope I'm leaving you with that you can use. And I think what I'll do now, since it looks like there's not tons of time left, is I will open the floor for questions about Khanmigo, about AI. Yeah, so I'm here to help you out.
It looks like we have a few questions in the chat, if you're able to see those.
So one was about using this tool and adopting it for the district. There's a process involved that you would want to get as many people on board with the process and make sure that it's one that we can use with our ecosystems. And I'm not saying we should use this tool. I'm just saying, hey, you've got ways to I just wanted to demonstrate a particular tool so that you could see that there are many tools out there that students will freely have access to. When they said, so I think it was last year, we said something like, there's an article that AI is out of the barn, right? Like it's running, like this was like just a year ago. And it really is like running in every direction. And so, just be aware that even if you try to lock this down, I think people are still going to figure out ways to use it. You can't lock down their phones. You can't lock down their personal devices. But yeah, you can use this if you'd like to. You test it out, and then I'd bring it forth with committees. Can Microsoft items be used with Mac computers? Yes, of course. Yep. We've they install and work fine. Can you briefly discuss what is the Reader Coach in Microsoft? So the Reader Coach is a tool. So I'm going to look up Reading Coach. It is a tool that evaluates how people present. So if you had Microsoft's Reading Coach on right now, it would record this meeting, obviously, and then it would give me, the speaker, information back. They're frequently called learning accelerators, sure. But the Reading Coach, it gives your students opportunities to practice reading with exercises from Reading Coach, but it also evaluates, I guess this is the Reading Coach. So it actually evaluates the reading. So that's a little different, right? You said Reading Coach. Yes, the Reader Coach. So students can own their learning and gentle guidance through pronunciation. So it would analyze how people are pronouncing stuff, syllabification, which is just parts of words. Reading speed, is their speed quickly. So you would speak out loud. You would speak out loud to this tool, and then it would evaluate how you're reading. And there's more to it here at Microsoft's Education. Have you found some AI platforms are more reliable, factual than others? Yes. So yes. So what I would suggest you do is if you are going to use a AI tool, and there's plenty of them out there, that you make sure they're developing it for education. So that if you're going to say you can use this tool, but you got to use this tool, and maybe set up a classroom where people are logging into the tool that you're using so you can keep all that data and analyze it. Yeah, so I have pretty much focused in on Khan Academy for this particular presentation and Microsoft Education. I would think we might have a deal with Microsoft Education because we are Microsoft Campus, but those are great tools to stick with. When people say ChatGPT and OpenAI, yeah, they work, but that's just general for everything. I would dig a little deeper. Which specific AI certifications do employers like? Oh, well, I can play the video. Can you guys, okay, I don't know if you can hear this video. But this is kind of a nice video.
Significant developments in artificial intelligence, making AI skills highly valued by employers.
Can you guys hear that?
Microsoft Learn provides extensive online resources that students can use to build their AI skills and so much more. These are free and accessible anywhere in the world. Ultimately, it can prepare them to earn certifications. And these certifications are a great way for job candidates to stand out and continue to learn and build their skills and credentials throughout their life and careers.
It's great to learn with Microsoft because they are the industry standard, and moving forward, this gives me the skills that I can use in any industry and any job.
In college, a lot of my friends would say, how do you set yourself apart during an interview or even on your resume? Because some people aren't even getting past that resume and into a job interview. Like, you have to find what sets you apart, and Microsoft certification is exactly that.
I've been offered multiple job opportunities because of them, and because of that, I plan on acquiring many more certificates.
So that's just a short video from Microsoft. If you want to, so Microsoft has this website called Microsoft Learn, simple Microsoft Learn, and they have tons of badges that they give out and tons of trainings, everything from, Microsoft Word to, Excel to, just anything, AI in education, their particular set of learning accelerators. And you can just study and you can get that certification, and you can use that to enhance your resume, but also just to kind of enhance your teaching and learning. And I think it would work well for lots of things. Let's see here. So employers like, okay, do any of our colleges currently have an AI certification for instructors, staff? How about one for students? So I don't know. I know Moorpark has a faculty academy on AI. I don't know if they get a badge or certified, or if it's just for teaching, learning about AI. But that was advertised, and I'm pretty sure people from other campuses could join that. How do we make the tools available in Canvas? Do students pay for subscription? Okay, so yeah, Canvas, we would have to, yeah, that's a little more complicated question. We would have to figure that out as ITDs. We'd walk you through the process. Who's going to pay for this? Is a part of one of the questions that we don't just have tons of money over here. We're trying to figure this out. But yes, I'm pretty sure it can be integrated with Canvas, because Microsoft is doing some very interesting things with Canvas, kind of behind the scenes, and it's in the open source world. So yeah, it's pretty interesting what's going on. Do students pay for the subscription? Oh, so we would try very hard for them not to pay for anything at a community college, and we would fight for that. And that might be a decision-making factor, that we're not going to use that tool. There are a lot of free tools out there, though, that do incorporate AI at a basic level that are available to students. So just be aware of that. I teach in the studio arts. Any AI programs that can work with visual images? Well, of course. That's why I put Poe.com up there. If you go to Poe.com, like Edgar Allan Poe, easy to remember, Poe.com, you find that there are some visual creation tools that are just they're just amazing. I mean, you just talk to it and then you wait for it to generate a picture. So artwork in the future could be, how well can you describe what you're thinking so that it can paint what you want it to paint? There was a guy who painstakingly wrote a prompt that took a Lego box and replaced the Lego icon with Oracle and Oracle parts. And it had an Oracle theme to it. The Oracle, the company called Oracle, the huge database company. And it was just amazing. And but he figured out how to painstakingly tell the thing to do what it wanted to do. So are you learning a concept or not? Well, I think so, because there's a lot of trial and error, right? There's a lot of trial and error. I'm sure he didn't just do that overnight. He figured out how to, tell it what to do, and it produced that. So yeah, DALL-E, good. Yes, DALL-E is also another one. Yes, I have. Yes, I've forgotten that. I have not heard of Midjourney. Is that a tool also? Yeah, so anyway, Midjourney, I'm not familiar with that one. Thank you for sharing. Yes, that's good. Great. Cool. The MCI Academy is open to all faculty and staff at VCCCD. Yes, if you would like to, feel free, please talk to my friend Trudy. Yes, she's been doing a great job of presenting and working with that. And I guess if you went to all 6 presentations, I guess you would get a badge at the end or something. I don't know. Good. Let's see. Oh, we're running out of time. I've tried really hard to answer as many questions as I can, and by that, I just think it's an important part of when you're presenting something that you communicate with the people you're talking to. Thank you for putting stuff in the chat. It's very, very helpful to me. I sometimes wonder, am I reaching anybody? So that's helpful. If you have any questions you'd like to add to this presentation, like the things that I asked, please do. I go back and read over the notes, and then I, put everything, adjust as I move forward. So yeah, this is the end of the presentation. I think I was going to go back to the top of the show, but I think I'll just do that. Thank you very much. It's cool to be here, and I guess I'll just say over and out. Katrina, can you help me?
Yeah. Thanks everyone for coming. I just want to point out that I did put a survey link in the chat, and I can put it there again if you don't mind filling that out for this session and any sessions that you attend today. That would be great. And thank you, Matt, so much. This was really, really wonderful. I look forward to checking out some of these tools. I'm sure everyone else does as well.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Enjoyed the time. There's the survey. I appreciate your feedback. Anything you want to add? I read these things. That's what instructional designers do. So cool. Well, have a good day. Hope you can get to the next session and have a nice lunch, and cool. Talk to you soon.